didn't understand the information that you read, you didn't read. You recognized words. Reading is understanding. Focus on what is important information that is meaningful. If you group words together, then you understand more, you recognize more, and everything becomes a lot easier. If you notice, in all of my classes, I use the mouse to guide you where I am when I speak, and I guide you within a boundary of 3 to 4 words. By guiding you, your eyes focus on that, and you process the information better. Your brain can process 5 plus to minus 2 pieces of information. If you're able to chunk information and process, you'll be able to remember a lot more, a lot quicker. Chunks is a group. That's why somebody reads to you your own phone number in a different way to how you remember it. You don't recognize it. Today, I'm going to show you all a tip on how to speed read. Yeah, it's called speed reading, and it's a fantastic thing for exams, for trying to read books, for trying to remember information better as well. So your brain can only hold 5 pieces of information, well, 5 plus or minus 2. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's 5 small items or 5 phrases or 5 anything. It's 5 chunks of information that you can retain in your memory at any one point. So how do we enhance your reading techniques is the key thing. I'm going to show you a video clip. In the first box is the one that I want you to really focus on at the beginning, okay? It's going to show some words that are highlighted in a darker color and other words in a gray color. And it's going to continue, well, it's going to appear like it's moving on the screen, okay? And I want you to read the words. Your mind is not going to allow you not to read the words. You'll see when I show you the video, okay? And then I'll probably repeat the video because it's very short. And I want you to focus on the second kind of slot, okay? And it's going to show you the text in a different way. And then we'll probably move on to see the third block, and you're going to see words in a different way as well. And then I want you to tell me, in which box do you think you're reading faster? Okay? Okay. You're going to try and read the text. Okay, so I want to show you this video here. Okay, so just take a look at the first box here. Okay, try to read the text.
Too fast.
You think it's too fast? You think
a little.
Fast?
Yeah, a little bit fast.
Yes. Now try to read from the second box then. Do you think that's slightly easier?
Similar than the first one.
The better, yeah, the retentions.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Okay, now try to read from the third box.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is easier?
The third box for me.
Third box, yeah. Why do you think that's easier?
I don't know. You underlining it doesn't go too fast and changing. You know, like the vision, the eyes.
Yeah, your sights. Yeah.
Yeah, the sight.
Those are exactly the same words, but they're displayed in 3 different ways.
Yes.
That is how your mind is reading. That's your inner voice. We call that the inner voice. So in your head, you can actually read a lot faster than you can speak, obviously. And then, so in the first box, it seems a little fast, but if you notice, they're actually exactly the same speed. It's 600 words per minute. 600 words per minute you're reading there. I'm gonna play that again. Okay. Can you imagine how fast you're reading? It's 600 words per minute. Most people read at 200 words per minute. because you're not using your fingers. Okay, when you read, you're just looking at text that is all the same color, and you're reading using your inner voice. Okay, when you use your inner voice, you have your own like imagination of what your voice sounds like. You then group the words in a way that you want to group the words, which is normally individual words. Yeah, and that makes reading even slower. Okay, so if I'm going to pause this so it doesn't distract you. Okay. So basically what happens is when you read individual words, if you, for example, read this word, if you can read it, you can imagine how slow that is, because you're looking at a single word at a time and your brain is focusing on one single word. Therefore, it's a lot slower. When you read in here, it was 2 or 3 words highlighted, but with the rest of the words in grey surrounding it, your eye and your brain was actually processing information that you were not looking at. You were not focused on the rest of the words. You're focused on these 2 words here that are highlighted. Your brain is actually reading the other words in the back of your mind. It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, so
incredible.
Imagine how many things do you see in a day when you're walking to the supermarket, for example? You see words everywhere. You see words on the buildings, you see words on advertising, you see words on billboards, you see words on signs, but your brain is not focusing on those words, but your subconscious mind is. So that's the reason why, for example, you see an advert on TV and 2 days later, you remember the tune in the back of your head. You're like, this was on TV. And you're like, where's this from? Where's this from? Where's this from? Because your subconscious mind was actively listening to that song, was actively watching the words on the screen, even though you didn't try to do that. You didn't focus on that. That's the power of your mind, okay? So that's why in this box here, you're able to read faster, or you found it easier, should I say, than the first box. Yeah, because you have surrounding words here you're not focused on, but you are in the back of your mind focused on it. In this case here, the third box, it was even more easy for you. Why? Because you had text separated in chunks, okay? Chunks means a group. And a group is how you need to learn in order to retain information better. You can have chunking up to 5 items. Like I said at the beginning of this session, some of you weren't here. Your brain can remember up to 5 plus or minus 2 items at any one time in short-term memory, okay? So memory that is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, yeah? Your brain can remember 5 things, plus or minus 2. Why do I say plus or minus 2? Because every brain is different. Some people can remember 5 things, some people can remember 7 things, and some people can only remember 3 things, okay? In my case, I don't have a great memory, so I'm between 3 and 5. I don't know about the rest of you. What do you think? You have a good memory, don't you, Bego? You probably
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Some of you will be able to remember more things. What do you think?
I don't have a great memory.
You don't have a great memory. Okay. So with this technique, by chunking
I
words
want to have a great memory.
you want to have a great memory, right? Well, this technique is going to help you a lot, okay? Because if you read in phrases, if you group words together, your brain will remember them better. You'll be able to read faster, and you'll be able to understand and remember information 300 times faster and 300 times better. You retain information better. Because if you read, if you can read this, instead of saying, if you can read this, yeah? If you can read this, if your inner voice says, if you can read this, instead of if you can read this, You're then forming this thing here, this phrase here, as one piece of information instead of 5. Yeah. So then you can retain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences instead of only 5 words. Yeah. So that's the power of chunking information. This one works really well because chunks of information. You have dark colors, you have light colors, and then you have underlining. So your eye automatically follows the moving item. Whether you like it or not, if you're reading using your finger to guide yourself reading, you read faster. Yeah. If you move your finger faster, your eye works harder, moves faster, and therefore you read faster. Okay. But my suggestion is try and move your finger as fast as your brain can remember. Okay, so for most people, it will be between 300 and 500 words per minute for you to process in a different language. Obviously, if you were reading these words in Spanish, you could probably go at 800 words, 1,000 words, yeah, per minute. That's this fantastic.
Fast Spanish. I read fast in Spanish.
Spanish. Yeah, because you're chunking information in Spanish. Because you know certain phrases in Spanish and therefore you group them together. And when you read, it goes a lot faster because you're chunking. Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, when you learn English or you learn a foreign language, you learn to read like this. You're looking at one word at a time. You say, if you can read this, and then everything sounds one tone. Yeah, everything is monotonous. Then you don't understand anything that you read. Have you ever done reading out loud in English when you're reading a book, for example? If you read out loud, you don't understand anything that you've read. You don't remember anything that you've read because you're reading in that way. Because you're reading words. Yeah, you're not reading. Yeah, you're not reading. That's not called reading. You didn't understand the information that you read, you didn't read. You recognized words. Reading is understanding. Focus on what is important information that is meaningful. If you group words together, then you understand more, you recognize more, and everything becomes a lot easier. If you notice, in all of my classes, I use the mouse to guide you where I am when I speak, and I guide you within a boundary of 3 to 4 words. By guiding you, your eyes focus on that and you process the information better. Your brain can process 5 plus to minus 2 pieces of information. If you're able to chunk information and process, you'll be able to remember a lot more, a lot quicker. Chunks is a group. That's why somebody reads to you your own phone number in a different way to how you remember it. You don't recognize it.
Hey, is this thing on? The big question is this. How are learners like us, who spend so much time studying and learning theory, learning grammar, trying how to speak, how can we communicate in English in a way that sounds more natural and allows us to get the things that we desire, that we want in less time? That is the question, and in my new Diamond course, I will give you the answers. My name is Carmen, and welcome to English Hacker. Join the Diamond course to find out more.